Alright, hey, what's up, guys? It is the President. I have been working on my medieval mod once again, and I think I have a version of it that is going to seem pretty appealing to people. Would love feedback, hear what you think, if this sounds interesting, if I'm missing the mark. But yeah, let's just jump into it. Right now it's named Medi Tournament. The game is designed to be played on a Pangea 60% water map, not unlike an MPT sort of map. Of course, a little bit less land, but the map sizes have been adjusted to be a little bit bigger accordingly. There are 15 civilization choices. Most of them are classical medieval age unique unit civs. However, there are going to be a couple of these that are in here that are not normally in the medieval era, such as Germany and the Byzantines. Those civilizations have new unique units that I made, and that's just so that we have enough civilizations to cover every trait pair that I included in this game. Every trait is included except for seafaring, which has been combined with commercial, and the agricultural trait has been removed as well. So let's go ahead and jump into this and take a look at what our beginning units look like. So at the start of the game, you are going to have two founders. Those are like settlers, but unlike settlers, they see up to 2 units away. They have the radar capability, and they also treat all terrain as roads, which means that they can move up to 2 times and then still plant on turn 1. So let's say, for example, here, I like this spot because it gets me the cow and whatnot, so I will make this my capital. And then I got one worker here. I'll probably go work the cow. I'll take this worker here to build a road to my next city. And then I also have 2 free spearmen. These are like normal spearmen, except they cost no unit maintenance. You can use these to contact your friends, try to scope out enemy locations, or just use them to protect yourself while you make new buildings. The special thing with these, because they do cost no unit maintenance, they are also unable to pillage. So if you're thinking about sending them over to try to be annoying to enemies, I would like them to be a little bit less that way. And the thing that I'm going for here that is slightly different than MPT is the fact that you get to change your government right away, and there is no despotism penalty. Hopefully growth and production will be a lot faster. And since medieval units are really just scaled up versions of MPT units, that basically means that you're going to be able to grow and produce those in about the same time as you would produce normal MPT sort of military units. But since buildings are also approximately the same cost, you can also play a little bit more builder style, build a little taller, and try to get through the tech tree for your team. Looking at the tech tree here, you'll see it's very similar to the standard tech tree for the medieval era. A lot of techs have been removed. Those ones you already have. I did have to move them to the ancient era just so that I could do some custom things with starting technologies. But essentially, at the start of the game, like multiplayer tournament, you're going to want to assign different people to go for different techs. So ideally, you'll have one working on printing press so that you have contact trading, one person working on chivalry, since that gives you knights and a lot of people's unique units. Astronomy and navigation, of course, get you explorers. Offshore platforms are also available at astronomy. And then navigation, of course, gets you map trading, as well as I made frigates available at a navigation as well. Fourth person, hopefully looking for gunpowder so that you can get musketmen and longbowmen in invention. Longbowmen are slightly nerfed just so that they're not as strong as medieval infantry. They cost 30 shields, 15 in accelerated production, and have 3 attack. They still have their defensive bombard capability. And then musketmen are also buffed a bit. Instead of costing 60 shields, they cost 40 shields, or 20 shields in accelerated production. So now these should hopefully be a little bit more viable defensive units. If you do have a civilization that's able to grow pretty big, get maybe some libraries or even a university going, and is playing relatively safe, is out of danger from other civilizations, they can possibly try to tech all the way up to military tradition and get those sweet cavalry to try to help your team make some game-ending plays. Like I was saying before, there are mostly the same uh, civilizations that are available in the medieval era with their unique units. A couple of the exceptions are Germany and the Byzantines. Also, Portugal and England have new unique units as well, since their normal unique units are naval. The idea is that everybody has a land unique unit that they can either use to start their golden age by attacking an enemy player, or by having a teammate help them start their golden age. Every trait combination is represented here, and the traits are industrious, commercial, scientific, religious, militaristic, and expansionist. Seafaring has been combined with commercial since both of those are relatively weak in a multiplayer sort of war game scenario. Those are better builder traits, at least commercial is. And then agricultural has just been removed as a whole because that trait is ridiculous. The traits have been somewhat rebalanced to try to make it so that each trait is approximately equal in strength to every other trait. Again, I might be missing the mark on this, but I just wanted to try out some experimental things, see what you guys think. And yeah, the industrious trait is unchanged. It still gives you 50% faster workers. All the worker moves in this game mode have been significantly sped up. Everybody roads in 1 turn. Irrigation normally takes 2 turns without any worker bonuses, and then mining on flatland also takes 3 turns without any worker speed bonuses. So industrious, of course, will get you 2-turn mines, 2-turn chop forest, all around just a strong trait in general. Commercial is normally a pretty weak trait in multiplayer, so every civ that is normally commercial also gets the seafaring bonuses, which means that they get the cheaper harbors, cheaper offshore platforms, and they also get a little bit more speed on those naval units, as well as the gold bonus for planting on the coast. Also, marketplaces and banks are going to be half price for these commercial civs as well, so now I think it is a pretty strong builder trait. It still isn't going to contribute much to having a strong military presence necessarily, but we'll get more into that with the other traits. Scientific is exactly what you would expect it to be. Libraries are just buffed now to also give a happy face, and universities give 25% production bonus. Since we are starting in the medieval era, you do start with a free tech at the start of the game, so you might have printing press, astronomy, engineering, or chivalry even. So if you have a scientific civ on your team, that's a nice little boon to your early research, and I think that is balanced just because normally scientific doesn't give you any other bonuses when you're playing in multiplayer, besides the fact that you get cheap libraries for border expands. Religious did get nerfed a little bit because all civs now get their 1-turn anarchy. They're all technically religious, but the civs that are quote-unquote supposed to be religious get their half-price temples and cathedrals, and that is going to be a big difference because temples and cathedrals give a lot more happiness now. So if you want to play a government that offers rushing production by slaving, in this case feudalism, you're going to get, I believe, extra 6 happiness from building these 2 religious buildings that are super cheap when you're religious, and I think that'll be a big help. Militaristic is almost completely unchanged. The Colosseum is just half price now for militaristic civs, and it gives a little bit more happiness, so that's also nice if you want to play a bit more of a slaving playstyle. An expansionist is just slightly buffed because scouts can move up to 3 spaces per turn. The governments are almost completely unchanged from the base game. You have Republic, Monarchy, and Feudalism, and they all have their normal effects as far as how you rush production, their unit support caps, the commerce bonus and whatnot. Corruption is the same. The only things that I actually changed were the worker speed. Republic gets normal workers, Feudalism gets 50% faster, and Monarchy gets 100% faster workers. And then as far as unit costs that go above your unit support cap, each government type pays 1 gold per unit. So Republic doesn't have to pay 2 gold per unit, and Feudalism certainly does not have to pay 3 gold per unit. That's just ridiculous. And then, similar to the other versions of the medieval mod that I've made in the past, granaries are going to be cheaper and also have a bonus depending on which government you're in. Republic gets you a 50% boost in taxes, similar to a marketplace. The monarchy granary gets you 25% bonus production, and then feudalism, it gives you an extra 2 happiness. Picking a government, I feel like traits have a big part of which government you should probably choose at the start of the game. Commercial and scientific are certainly really good builder traits, really good traits to try to carry your team by researching all the way up to military tradition, so everybody can have calves. So Republic is really good for that, just because you get the extra commerce. For Monarchy, Industrious is an extremely strong trait because the 200% from Monarchy and the 150% from Industrious means that you can mine flat land in 1 turn, you can mine hills in 2 turns. If you need to clear a lot of jungle and marsh, you clear that extremely quickly as well. This just gets you ridiculously fast growth in terms of your worker moves, so that means less workers that you have to put out at the start of the game, and bigger cities in that way. Feudalism, this is the government that you use if you want to sacrifice citizens to hurry your production, so religious and militaristic are probably best for that government, because they both do get discounted really good happiness buildings. That happiness will help a lot if you decide you want to do a lot of slaving for to do like a night rush or even a cav rush, what have you. As far as land options that you might want to look at when picking government, river or coastal, anything with a lot of high gold is going to be great with Republic. It's going to synergize with your gold rushing and wanting to tech faster. Monarchy, like I was saying, if you have a lot of hills that you want to mine, swamp or jungle to clear, those double speed workers are going to be fantastic for that. Feudalism, land doesn't have as much to do with it, as much as, maybe your traits, but any situation where you have a lot of food or low gold in production is going to be good with feudalism, so that you can make those slaving plays. And real quickly, I just wanted to talk about some of the new unique units that I created. The Cataphract is a chivalry unique unit for the Byzantines now. They are similar to regular knights, except that they have 1 more attack rating. They have 5 attack. We also have the... where are you? The Portuguese Templar. They are a 5/3 that is available at feudalism and requires iron, so instead of a 4/2, they get an extra attack and defense point with the same cost. We have the Crusader, that is also available at feudalism. They are a 4/4 instead of a 4/2. That replaces the medieval infantry for England. And then finally, the last new one that I have is the Saxon Warrior. That is for Germany. They have the Gallic Swordsmen splash art. They are a 4/2 with 2 moves, and they cost 10 more shields than a normal medieval infantry, and also requires iron. I also made a bunch of other little balance changes in here, like the Hwacha is going to be a gunpowder defense unit that has defensive bombard. Musketeers for the French are also going to be cheaper, just because, musketmen are cheaper as a whole. And there's a couple of other little balance changes too, but just wanted to talk about the unique units that I created for this game. That's a general overview of everything that I've made here. Let me know if this sounds cool to you at all. If you have any suggestions, if this sounds boring, if this sounds super fun, I will put a link to the scenario file in my Google Drive in the description. And yeah, let me know your feedback. Thank y'all.